I don't think enough people talk about how grief, especially at a young age, causes you to be hyper aware of your mortality. A friend of mine passed away recently and he was young. He was 35. And, his death is like obviously like a woe in itself. Not a woe, but I should say his death has definitely caused me to like take a beat. It has also caused me to just, ask myself questions about like what's important, what are behaviors that I need to like fix and address, and what are behaviors that I are detrimental to me to becoming the person that I want to be, to have the relationships I want to have, to accomplish the things that I want to accomplish. And sorry, it's just caused me to be hyper aware of my mortality, and also a little bit hyper vigilant about my health, and if things, or what's the word, a hypochondriac, just a smidge, because if I experience like a pain or my body feels kind of funny, I'm like, is it, cancer? Is it something else that will, cause my quality of life to deteriorate, or for me to be in the world differently, navigate the world differently? I know that's super dramatic, but like, I feel like either you lose someone at a very young age due to a disease, or you lost someone very close to you who had a disease. I feel like it's quite natural to have those thoughts. So I'm not beating myself up about it, but it is something that I hyper aware, and I'm like, girl, you don't respond well to stress. Chill out, But anyway, I say all that to say his death has caused me to be hyper aware of my mortality, and also like have conversations with myself about like what's important, what's important. We unfortunately didn't get to have a recent last phone call, and it's obviously something I'm gonna have to live with forever. You know what I mean? And that's just the consequence of an action. So I'm not like I'm not trying to like victimize myself at all. I had a part to play, obviously. It has me thinking about like, okay, what's actually important? Like, this grievance that you have, is this gonna matter in a year? Is this gonna matter in 5 months? Is this gonna matter when other parts of your life are settled? Probably not. So like, get to resolution quickly. Additionally, like, I can't help but think about like how obviously our time on earth is numbered. We don't know when we're gonna go, and just thinking about dreams not becoming actualized. For example, we would always talk about his children, because he wanted kids. And so I remember we would always talk about, because it would come up in conversation and I would mention how I don't want kids, and he's like, Anna, how do you not want kids? It's like a piece of you. They're here on this earth when you're not there. And he didn't have kids. Thank God he had like nieces and nephews and godchildren, but he didn't have his own, you know what I mean? And that's something that he would always say to me often about wanting children. He was 35, which is still very young. 35 is still very young, and he didn't have children. And I can't help but think about, like, when I pass, are there going to be dreams that do not become actualized? And if so, like, is it to my detriment? Like, is it something that I'm not doing? And if so, let's tend to that quickly. And then there's also this other component where I feel like the last few years that I've had, it had me like just think about like how you can put all your effort into something, you could have the best of intentions, but that does not guarantee that you are going to have the outcome that you want to have. You hope for it, you work towards it, but it's not guaranteed. And so for me, it's just kind of like, yo, the thought of me putting all this work into something and it not be actualized in my life, and I die young, God forbid, I hope I live to be 100, but if I die young, like, not even like what's the point, but like when it's my time, like, am I going to be sad? Am I going to be regretful? And when I think about just like dying, I don't want to feel I don't want to feel regret. I really want to feel like I lived my life. I lived my life. I had as much human connection as I could have. I saw the world. I got to hear great music. I got to experience different cultures. I got to love the home that I was living in. I got to live in cities that I loved. I got to experience real, genuine, like romantic love. Like, I'm just happy and fulfilled. That's really what I want. And I think, like, again, losing someone so young and not seeing certain dreams that they've communicated not come to fruition, it's just like, I don't know, it just has me like in a bit of a tizzy. I'm in like such a weird phase of life. It is so weird. And the world is fucked. I'm so sorry. Like the world, like what the hell? You know what I mean? And like, I think I'm like, am I going to live in my parents' house forever? Am I going to be unemployed forever? Am I not going to have a job forever? Am I not going to have gigs forever? Like having this current reality for a longer time, I'm sad. There are things that I'm grateful for, don't get me wrong. Is this what I want for myself? No. So it's just scary where I'm like, yo, I don't want to die young. I definitely don't want to die without my dreams actualized. And the way this world is looking and what I see around me, I don't know. And I think this is the part where you have to like call in faith. You have to speak positively and, you know, have hope and like believe for what you can't see. And I'm trying to figure out what that looks like for me. What does believing what I cannot see look like? And how do I keep that faith alive and not succumb to the knowing and the knowledge that, again, you can have everything planned out. You can have the best of intentions. You can do the work. And there's a possibility that what you desire or what you're working towards not come to reality. I don't know. And I hope I find some sort of answer. Maybe it's something that will come through living life. Maybe it's something that will hit me in a dream. Maybe it's something that'll come to me in a journal prompt. Maybe it'll come to me in a conversation. I do not know. I do believe that I'll eventually figure it out. The thing is, when? Because again, days are numbered. I don't know.